All right. Welcome everybody today to our session today on navigating the new submission system and process for USASBE 2025. I am Brittany Garner. I am Vice President of Operations at USASBE, and joining us with us today is Julianne Shields, President and CEO of USASBE. And today we are going to go over various things in relation to USASBE 2025. I will go ahead and share my screen and we'll get started here. Our agenda today, I'd like to start off with a conference overview, going into the tracks and track chairs being offered at the conference this year, new systems for 2025, the timelines, and have time at the end for any Q&A. All right, so USASBE 2025 Fortune Favors the Bold is going to be held in person February 12th through 15th in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we are hosting our conference at Caesar's Palace. What is new for 2025 that is different than previous years is starting off with our conference present participation. USASBE 2025 will have two components. We are moving away from the hybrid capability that we've had since 2022. This year, the February 12th through 15th conference in Las Vegas will be in person. We are not anticipating having anyone Zoom in or the capability to have that the capacity to have the hybrid capability this year in Las Vegas. So all of the sessions at Caesar's Palace will be in person. However, understanding that not everybody is able to attend and things come up, we are offering a virtual pre-conference, which will be a separate event held that will be on January 31st, so 2 weeks prior to the in-person conference in Las Vegas. The submissions that will go to the virtual pre-conference will go through the peer review process that all of our submissions for presentation go through. The only difference is that this will be an asynchronous upload of the presentation into the conference platform of Whova. That will all go live on January 31st. Everyone with a ticket to the conference, whether it's an in-person ticket or a virtual registration ticket, will have access to those videos on January 31st. We are really looking forward to that. For those who are unable to join us, it'll drive conversation and the ability to continue those thoughts and have discussion around those topics at the in-person conference in Las Vegas. Additionally, this year, our submission platform is different. We are using 4Waves. We've been using AwardForce, so this will be a new platform for us for collecting submissions. Our conference platform has also changed. We are using Whova. That will be both for the virtual presentations and the in-person conference. For tracks, we have 13 total tracks across 4 categories this year, including research, teaching, programs, and a new category of ecosystems. Awards, we have new awards this year, including a new model program award for institutions with smaller student populations, as well as a new re-emerging model program award. If you're interested in learning more about the awards, I encourage you to visit the awards section on the conference website. I'll show you that in just a moment. And then as well as there will be a video soon with our awards chair for this year, Crystal Geyer, that'll go over that submission process for submitting nominations for awards. Our daily agenda for the in-person conference in Las Vegas is as follows. Please note that this is tentative. We are pretty set in this. However, things can change and everything's fluid. So our tentative daily agenda is as follows. On Wednesday, February 12th, we are going to have learning journey opportunities. Learning journeys are separate ticketed items that you can add on to your conference registration. Those are going to be held on February 12th. On February 13th, during the day, we are going to be offering certificates, including the social entrepreneurship certificate, a name, image, likeness certificate this year, and the entrepreneurship lecturer certificate. Those are all going to be held on Thursday, February 13th. That is also a separate ticket purchase in addition to the conference registration if you'd like to participate in those. We are also the DOT Consortium in the Longenecker Fellows Mentorship Program will be meeting during the day. Applications are open for those. If you're interested in learning more, I will also point you to those web pages when we get to the conference website a little later in this conversation. Thursday evening is when the conference kicks off officially with the opening reception. For Friday, February 14th, we are going to be having breakout sessions during the day as just normal conference breakout sessions. During the lunch, there will be the Longenecker Fellows induction ceremony. In the evening, we'll have our SIG meetings, and the evening is on your own. So you're free to explore Vegas that evening. On Saturday, again, we'll have breakout sessions. The award ceremony is at the conclusion of the afternoon breakout sessions, and then our gala is that evening. I wanted to share the registration with everybody. So these are our ticket prices for the year. I do want to let you know that there is an early adopter discount for the first 100 registrants. So with that in mind, there are two different prices for each ticket. One is based on whether you are renewing your membership as you are purchasing your conference registration. And then the other one is without membership included, and it requires that your membership is valid through February 15th, 2025, as we do ask everyone who is presenting at the conference to be a member of the organization. All right. So with that being the conference overview, let's get into the tracks. For USASBE 2025, we have 3 subcategories under research. The research track, we have competitive research papers, which are eligible for paper awards. The paper awards are announced at the conference at the award ceremony. Emerging research papers, as well as a new track this year for research panel discussions and debates. So what from research to impact? All of the panelists who participate in the panel discussions, we are asking them to be in person unless it's a virtual presentation that is uploaded. For teaching tracks, we have competitive experiential exercises and competitive teaching cases, which are those 2 categories are both eligible for the 3E awards. Those are voted on by the people attending the sessions during the conference. Those awards are also announced during the awards ceremony. In addition, under the teaching track, there's emerging teaching experiences and cases, and a teaching panel discussions and debates track. For programming, we have established co-curricular programs, emerging co-curricular programs, and curricular programs as options. Ecosystems is a new track this year, and we have established community programs, emerging community programs, and ecosystem panel discussions and debates. So those are our 13 tracks for this year. You can find, when we get to the conference website, I'll point you to those descriptions and templates for each of those tracks. I'd also like to introduce you to our track chairs and co-chairs for this year. Patrick J. Murphy at the University of Alabama, Birmingham is our competitive research chair. Competitive experiential exercises and teaching cases is Patch Patchkowski from Florida Atlantic University. Our programming chair is Matt Smiler at Stephen F. Austin State University. Ecosystems chair, David Ochi from California State University, Dominguez Hills. Our emerging experiential exercises and teaching panels chair is John Torrance from Syracuse University. Emerging research, Leon Prieto, Clayton State University, and research panels is Chris Crawford from University of Tampa. The co-chairs for these tracks, some are still in flux, but so for competitive experiential exercises and teaching cases, Jeffrey Graybill, University of South Carolina, programming, Montressa Washington from Shenandoah University. Our ecosystems co-chair is Stormy Prushkauer from Florida Gulf Coast University. Emerging research is Dolores Gonzalez Acedo from Tecnológico de Monterrey, and research panels has 2 co-chairs in Susan Batchelder from Indiana University and Vitaly Skorodzewski from University of Louisville. So I do think it's important that we recognize them and thank them for their time. They are already into the process of gathering, encouraging submissions to their tracks, and are happy to answer any questions that you may have regarding the track that you may be interested in. Okay. All right. So let's get into navigating the new systems. I'm going to pull up our conference website now. Thank you for your patience during this transition. All right, so to get to the conference information on our websites, there's a few ways to get there. When you go to usasbe.org, you can scroll down and we have this tile for the annual conference. When you select Learn More, that will take you to the conference landing page here. But also, you can reach the same place by going to Events, Annual Conferences, and selecting USASBE 2025 Las Vegas. This website is evergreen. It's always changing. It's always being updated. So to get the most accurate information for the USASBE 2025 conference, I will point you to this webpage. I would encourage you to check it often. We're always adding things and looking to keep everyone informed as to the amazing experiences that will be happening in Las Vegas. The call for submissions can be located either by clicking this button right there, will take you to the submissions page, but also on the submissions tab. I would like to spend a moment and just kind of walk through these. The home page has basic information about the conference, including conference tickets, how to clicking these buttons will take you to the ticket page and be able to register. Conference information, including important dates, call for submissions, awards, hotel information, travel information, and our venue. Sponsorship opportunities are presented on this tab. Submissions, we'll go more deeper into that in just a moment. Learning journeys being offered at the conference are here. These are separate ticketed items that you can add on to your conference registration. Our hotel is Caesar's Palace, including the top 7 reasons that you'd like to stay at Caesar's Palace. And to reserve your room, you can click this link here. That'll take you to the room block, as well as down here. This will also take you to the room block link. Awards, if you're interested in being considered for a programming or lifetime or a leadership recognition, all of that information is here on this awards page. We've also just did a webinar with our awards chair, Crystal Geyer. That'll be up soon to learn more about that process, as well as applications for our Longenecker Fellows Mentorship Program and Doctoral Consortium. So, but for today, I'd like to go deeper into the submission process and the tracks here. is some information about the submission process from our conference commission chair, Jen, for CAPS. You can click this button. It'll take you to the submission website. But I'm going to go back to this other tab so we can finish talking about this. This deadline for submissions for the competitive tracks is September 15th. The deadline for submissions to our emerging tracks is November 15th. If you require a visa letter or any other travel information, it'll be located on this page. Under each of these accordions is where you're going to find the description for the track. The conference commission really took time this year to go over each of the tracks and better summarize them for this year. So, and there's a link to a template for each track. That is important this year because the 4-wave system is built as one big form and it does not allow for saving at any point. So you have to fill out the submission in one sitting. There is no save feature, unfortunately. So to help with that, we've created templates that you can copy and fill out on the form on your Word doc, and then copy the information over into the 4-wave system. So this is one place to find the templates. There will be multiple other places to find them as well that we'll walk through as we continue on. So each of these is an accordion. So as you open it, you can learn more about the tracks underneath. And the templates, when you click on them, they will open up and you'll be able to download a copy to then fill in with your information. All right. We will now go over to the 4-wave system, which is the submission collection. On the homepage of 4-waves, there's a lot of information about the event, including frequently asked questions about the submission process in general, about submission deadlines, templates. If you can edit your entry after submitting, yes, you can. You can submit in more than one category. You can submit in up to 3 categories. If you are unable to attend the conference in person, it touches on the virtual conference participation option there. If you are submitting the submission for the conference, however, you will not be the one presenting at the conference, that is a field on the application form that you can select whether or not you will be presenting or if you are turning in the information for your colleagues. And also a contact of if you need help. You can reach out to any of the organizers. You can reach out to me personally. I'm happy to answer any questions. I know Julianne will help answer questions, the track chairs, and that info at USASBE is also a great email to use. So that's the general information on 4-waves. When you get to the call for submissions page, this is the form that has to be filled out in one sitting. We tried to make that as big as possible here, that there is no save feature because we don't want anyone to get frustrated as they sit down and then realize they have to start all over again. So that is there. Also included are the important dates and a few of the frequently asked questions. How the form works is it's very dynamic and it's built on logic, so it'll continue to build based on what you select. This first block is just collecting information, and then this submission type and category block is where you're going to enter in your track information. So let's go through like we are going to submit to the competitive experiential exercises track. To get there, we are going to go to conference submission tracks and then indicate that our use case is teaching and pedagogy because we're submitting to the competitive experiential exercises track. This is another place where you're going to be able to find those templates. Here you can see the competitive experiential exercises. I get a little description of the track, and then I have the opportunity to open the template, and then I can pre-fill this out to then copy over into the form. So now that I've done teaching pedagogy, I will go to competitive experiential exercises. Again, I will get a description of the track and the opportunity to download a template. I get an overview of the timing of the presentation, and then I get notified that this category is eligible for the 3E competition. Next, for keywords this year, the Conference Commission really took a look at how do we make keywords more of a filter so that way we can group them more succinctly in the conference program. So what we would like you to do is the main focus represented in this work includes, and you can choose one of these keyword items. Let's go with online entrepreneurship education. If it's a SIG, it doesn't mean that you have to be associated with the SIG. It just means that there is a SIG associated with that keyword or topic item. And then a secondary focus area is optional, not required. So if it's online entrepreneurship, but it's focused in economic development. So those are the focus areas. And then we go into topics, which are very vast. Again, the secondary topic is optional. And then from here, my form will be complete, it will have populated the form for this particular track. And I will go through and enter the title, the abstract, a printed program description, authors and panelists. I would like to note that the authors and panelists, as you enter in each person who's associated with this entry, they will, you can mark if they're going to be a presenter, or if they're just a co-author, you don't have to mark that they're presenting. Everyone who's associated with this submission will get an email notifying them that they have been associated with the submission to USASBE 2025, and they will also get notifications through the review process about the status of the submission. So that kind of takes it broadly shares the knowledge instead of only the person who submitted the initial submission getting the notification and then having to communicate. I do encourage both. I do encourage the person who submitted to then also communicate, but the system's going to be doing that also. So what I would do here is just copy and paste my information over from the template. We have, in an effort for us to plan logistically at headquarters, we do ask that you indicate whether you are planning to present in person, virtually, or if you're not sure yet, that's okay. We understand that things can be changing all the time. We do ask that you confirm that you have no more than 3 submissions. To present at the conference, you have to be registered to attend the conference. And the other big thing is that you have to be registered by January 11th, or you may be removed from the printed program. And that by submitting, you're agreeing to be a reviewer for the conference. Everyone who submits is also a reviewer. You should be assigned no more than 3 to 4 submissions to review in a category that you select here. So you are given the option to select your track preference to review. Okay. So that's our conference website and the submission platform, just a broad overview. If you have questions about that, please feel free to reach out. I'm happy to go into more details with that. Are there any questions on the call right now that I can answer?
Brittany, I've got one that comes up from time to time. Sorry, that's okay?
Yeah.
Because it's got to be, there's not a save feature, but there's a submit feature, and so of course there's a submit feature, but you can also modify it before the deadline. So one of the things that in the past I've done with other conferences and events is I've got everybody's okay except for maybe one author. I submit it, and then I go back in before the deadline and I add that other author. Is that something that can be done?
Absolutely. You do have the option to edit a submission after you've submitted it. Thank you.
It looks like Saida has a question. Can you submit emerging and ecosystems to different submissions?
Absolutely. You're allowed to, we ask that you limit it to 3 submissions total, but yes, you are able to submit to both categories. And Lynn, great question. That was a great segue, because I'm gonna go back to my handy dandy slideshow here. We're gonna go over important dates. All right. So September 15th is our competitive track deadline. Competitive tracks can include the competitive research paper track. The panels will all be included in that no, panels are included in the emerging deadline. My apologies. So competitive research paper, competitive teaching tracks, which include the competitive experiential exercises and competitive teaching cases, and the emerging the established co-curricular programs and the established community programs tracks. Those are all going to be due on September 15th. Also, the SIG leaders have an option if they would like to submit a featured presentation. That deadline's also September 15th. October 15th is our doctoral consortium application deadline and the Longenecker Fellows Mentorship Program deadline. November 1st is our goal line for competitive track notifications. November 15th will be the deadline for all those emerging tracks and the panel discussions, as well as doctoral consortium notifications and Longenecker Fellows Mentorship notifications to go out there, and with a emerging track notification date by the very latest of December 18th of this year, to give time for the review process and decisions to be made. Yes, I can go through the distinction between established and emerging. That is also, I believe, notated on the web page in those descriptions. My apologies. One moment, please, while I find that. Okay, so do we have, my apologies, I'm not sure if we have that in as a date. Julianne, would you be able to share some context on those dates between the established and emerging for programs?
When you say dates, I'm not sure I understand. Do you mean deadline dates or?
Thank you. Thank you for the clarification. Is there a time frame a program should be in place before it's considered established versus emerging?
Oh, I see what you're saying. No, not really. It's more, has it taken place, right? Is it established? Have you actually run it versus this is just something that we're kind of noodling on and we're like still in the process of making it happen. But it's an innovative type of program. So established means it's running, it's doing, you've got data to support it. Emerging is more, these are some ideas we're noodling on and it's kind of at the cutting edge.
Thank you. Awesome. And then I think there was another question about teaching cases copied into the template or uploaded. That's an upload. That's an upload as well as a copy. It's both. It's an either or. And there's both options there. For the awards, that's a great question. It is automatically submitted for an award. You don't have to submit separately for these, for the paper awards, the 3E awards. So those are automatically considered upon submission. If you're looking for the program awards, that's a separate nomination process under that awards tab. So those are like the excellence in pedagogical innovation, the model merging program, model program. Those are all separate, but for 3E, that's automatically considered when submitting to the competitive experiential exercises or teaching cases track. Thank you for that question.
And one of the things I'll just kind of add to that a tiny little bit. For example, there might be 20 that are accepted as far as in that track. We might get 30 submissions and 20 are accepted, but then there's a smaller subset that are actually considered kind of finalists or in the running for the 3E award. And it's usually around 10 to 12, depending on how it all kind of shakes out. So the 3Es are kind of a subsection of all of the ones that are accepted in the competitive experiential exercises and cases tracks.
Great, thank you for that additional context. All right, so we'll continue.
I had a question,
Yes.
maybe more for Julianne. Is EEMP publishing cases any longer? I remember, I think it was 2 years ago, there was an announcement that they were going to stop publishing cases.
Yeah, they have not started that back up again at this point in time. It comes up every year or so if they're going to start it up again, but they don't. The only way that USASBE at this point in time has any kind of peer-reviewed cases is through the conference.
Okay.
And then, of course, there's always the opportunity, even though it's not peer-reviewed per se, to share cases on the Teaching Hub as well. But I know that doesn't help with promotion and tenure and things like that. So. Okay.
So given your expertise in this area, your longtime expertise, and I see Oscar is here as well, where are scholars publishing entrepreneurship cases? What journals are they publishing in?
I'm not prepared to answer that one off the top of my head, but I think if I spend about 12 minutes looking it up online with people that I know, like Carolyn Glacken was very involved with an organization that had that was publishing teaching cases. And then also USC does kind of their own teaching cases, but it's Jeremy Dan is the contact there that I would probably contact. But those are the two people I can think of off the top of my head that have resources in that area. But in journals, I'd have to dig a little bit deeper.
Maybe that's a good topic then to submit for a panel discussion.
I'd love that very much, Mary Beth. Yes.
Let me pop my email into the chat. And if you want to let me know who those contacts are and see if we can generate some interest in that. How does
Beautiful.
that sound?
I love that idea. Thank you.
Because I'm sure I can't be the only one wondering.
You're probably right.
Certainly there are some general, business and strategy outlets, but I just, maybe there is a void in the entrepreneurship teaching case area.
Yeah,
okay,
probably so.
Super. Thank you for that.
You bet.
Can I just say that this is why I love USASBE? Like, I just love the ability to collaborate off conversations like this. This is why I love this organization so much. So is examples like that. A question leading into a possible panel discussion at the conference. That's great. All right. Thank you all. Thank you for that discussion. Other important dates to know, early bird pricing ends on December 15th. That's with the caveat that discount is limited to the first 100 uses. If they have not been used by that point, then it's going to be shut off before that. And speaker with the additional caveat that speakers with accepted submissions will be offered a $50 discount, because we know that's important when you present your letter of acceptance that it can be helpful in the budget conversation to have show that there's a discount associated with the conference registration. Those two cannot be combined, though. January 11th is a big day. There's no refunds given after that day. The hotel group rate ends on January 11th. That's also the sponsorship and exhibitor deadline, and it's the last day to register in order to be included in the printed program for the conference. On January 31st, we'll be hosting our virtual conference on Whova. It'll go live. That's the asynchronous portion of the conference. February 1st is the last day to register for pre-conference activities. And then February 12th through the 15th is going to be USASBE 2025, Fortune Favors the Bold. So this is beautiful Caesar's Palace. We are so excited to host this conference here. It is an amazing facility. And I want to just spend a few moments talking about like the top 8 reasons you want to stay at Caesar's Palace during this conference season. We're going to talk convenience. Staying at the venue will eliminate the need to get back and forth from from somewhere else to the event. It saves time that could otherwise be spent networking, which results in number 2, reduced transportation costs. Number 3, staying at the conference venue allows you multiple networking opportunities, including and access to the hotel amenities. You get access to room block rates through the USASBE room block on that link on the hotel page. Safety and security by being kind of not insulated because you're always welcome to go out, but when you're in the facility, there are so many things to do there. It's safe, it's secure. It allows you to be immersed in the USASBE experience, and it supports USASBE. By staying at our conference hotel block, you're supporting our organization. There are many more reasons to be excited about staying at Caesar's Palace. These are our top 8, and we are thrilled to be able to host the event there. They're top-notch staff. Yes. Would you like to add more excitement about it?
Well, I do just want to add, like, one of the things that we just found out that was kind of exciting is that of course, market rates for hotels in Las Vegas are dynamic, right? And often, they start to creep up and then they just kind of go way, way up. So we've got a maximum that we have, but more interesting than that is that if the market goes down and all the other hotels are lower than ours, our block will actually go down and will be less. So our block is maybe not as dynamic as the whole market, but it's the best thing to do is to block through us, is to use our block, because if the market is lower overall for similar quality of a place, you'll get a discount at the end. So just keep that in mind. Now, they're not anticipating that the market will go down. Of course, they're anticipating it'll go up, but it's just important to know that. I know it's difficult sometimes to justify one thing or another, but you can tell them that we have a cap on how much the hotel rooms will cost, and it might actually be lower based on the market.
I love that. That's really good context, and I thank you for sharing that. All right. So we've arrived at our final tips and takeaway slide. So here are some final tips and takeaways that I'd like to share with you. Orient yourself with our conference website. It's evergreen. It's always updating. That's where you're going to find the most up-to-date information related to the conference. Download those templates. There is no save feature. You have to submit everything in one sitting. You can go back in and edit. So that may be an option if you submit like test words in a text box and then go back in and edit it later. That's also an option. However, the templates will help you make it just one smooth process and you don't have to worry about going back in. Complete your reviews promptly when you are reviewing. If you've been asked, you'll be, that will be another kind of discussion that we have when it's reviewing time. Stay at Caesar's Palace because it is going to be a wonderful time and you won't want to miss that immersive experience. Register early if you can. We understand that you may not be able to without having that accepted notification. And have an amazing time at USASBE 2025 Fortune Favors the Bold, either sharing and learning from your colleagues in entrepreneurship education as we move forward with the mission of boldly advancing entrepreneurship education. Julianne, do you have any final tips and takeaways that you'd like to share also?
No, but keep in touch with us. If you have questions, let us know. We are always happy to answer.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that's what we have on our side. I'm happy to answer any questions, have any discussion. The floor is open.
I had a question.
Yes.
This is Oscar. In collaborating with a non-member on a case submission or a paper submission, they would need to become a member of the association, correct?
That is correct. When presenting at they don't have to be a member to submit when you're submitting. However, should the presentation be accepted to present at the conference, they would have to register for the conference and include that membership with their ticket to then be a presenter at the conference.
Okay, excellent. Okay, that clarifies that for me. And
Yeah, oh, sorry, Oscar, go right ahead.
Go ahead.
Just clarifying on that. If the co-author who is a non-member will not be attending the conference, do they need to join USASBE also?
No.
Okay. So conference attendees need to be a member.
That is correct.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
Now,
Yes.
we would love for everybody to be a member, even if they don't come to the conference. So that would be lovely because then they get access to all of the resources. They can contribute in all kinds of ways, not just at the conference, and stay in touch with other events that are coming up throughout the year. It's exciting. We've got rural entrepreneurship symposiums happening. We're in conversations about a Sigma Nu Tau conference. I mean, we've got a lot of things that we're looking at over the course of the next year. So even if somebody can't come to the conference, encourage them to become a member.
Fabulous, Julianne. I heard you before you even said it. Fabulous.
I had one other question. Or is there, let's say we are encouraging submission. They may be non-members. What other incentives? I mean, let's say if they become a member, they get a paper selected for a presentation. I mean, how do we, I know they're going to be in the program, they'll be in a printed program. Is there anything else that we give them for their files, for their records, acknowledging their participation or contribution? I mean, these are just incentive things I'm looking for.
So,
like, for example, some conferences I've been involved in, we've gotten acknowledgement, we've gotten a certificate, a presenter certificate, we've gotten a photo with a certificate, you know, all that goes in your file, right? So those are things that incentivize people to push harder to participate.
that's a very interesting. We've not done that in the past, Oscar, but that's certainly something that we could add to our list. If that's something that would be that kind of added incentive, I think that'd be lovely.
Yeah, it's really a low, no cost type of thing. It's just something that gives people a physical take back to their institutions, you know, put it on their wall or in their office or something of that nature. And everybody, you know, likes to have those types of things. So they just add value.
Fantastic.
That was it.
Cool.
Great job, Brittany. Thank you so much for sharing all that and helping a guy out like me.
No, it's my pleasure. Thank you. I know it's a lot this year. There's a lot of changes. I would like to thank Julianne for chiming in, because like there's a lot of changes and there's a lot of things
Yes.
that we both have a lot of context on. So thank you, Julianne, for when you gave more context on those items. I really appreciate it.
Brittany's the bomb. This whole thing would not have happened without her. So she's the rock star.
The team effort. All right.
Cool. Well, we look forward to seeing you guys in Vegas.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
And don't forget, if you have multiple people, authors, and your presentation is accepted, they also will get the $50 off. So as a presenter, not just you, but your other partners will too. So
Okay.
that's one of those. Yeah.
Excellent. And that's in the information packet for presenters. That point you just made, Julianne, that's in there. Okay. Very
Right.
good.
When they get their acceptance, there will be like, here's how to take advantage of this. Exactly.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you.
You bet.
Wonderful. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Have a great day. Bye.